If you're ready to receive some information about slaying those demons and also overcoming spiritual attacks, you guys keep watching because this video is gonna be good. All right, guys, let's get into it. So about, I say maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, a lady reached out to me through email, and she was telling me that she found me on a website, and she told me that she really needed some assistance with something that was going on with her, and that she would understand if I could not respond or reach back out to her through email, because she knew that I was currently pregnant, and she just needed some help or something like that. Through this email, it stood out to me right away because the English wasn't making sense and making sense. Maybe it was more energetic. It didn't feel right. And so I was just like, huh. And I'm just like, how does this lady know I'm pregnant? Because, like, you know, only not that many people know. So how does she know? I reached back out to her and I said, sure, what's going on? And how do you know I'm pregnant right now? You know, how you know I'm expecting? And so then she never reached back out to me. So weeks had gone by. This particular day, I went into work, and she was there. And I didn't know, because I've never seen her before. She never contacted me back or anything like that. So I didn't even know how she looked. But I was in the back. I felt the need to go up to the front. Normally I'm in the back and I'm doing stuff to prepare for my sessions with my clients and different stuff like that. And then when I feel the need to go up there energetically, like, I just go. If I don't feel the need, I don't go. So I was like, okay, you know what? I need to go up there. So I went up there. And I didn't even make it like too far, but I started going up there, maybe like halfway of like where the front of the store to the back of the store, halfway. I got there, and she said something to me. I don't know who said something first. She said something, and then she saw me, and she was just like, stay right there, don't move. Don't come any closer, stay there. And I was just like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the one that emailed you. And at first I didn't remember. And then I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who you, yeah, I know, yeah, And then, but she never had replied to me. So she was like, yes, I understand why you wouldn't want to work with me, you know, because you're a child and I want your child to be protected. And so, she was just like, I need help, but I don't want help from you. I don't want you to come any closer. I don't want, you know, any help from you. It has to be someone else. And so she was like, stay there. And I was just like, well, I'm here, you know, I'm here. I'm still standing here. But, you know, I was kind of confused. And I was like, are you afraid of me? Like, or are you afraid for me? Because I really was confused. She explained a little bit. She said she was concerned for the baby that I was carrying. And she said that there were entities that were with her that she was trying to get rid of, and needed to know what to do and needed to know how to do the things I do, but she would not accept the help from me because she did not want that energy to come toward me or the baby, and really the baby. So I was kind of like, okay, thinking to myself, how do I handle this situation? Because she's like yelling like across, you know, the store, and to tell me to stay where I am. And so I'm just like, okay, so she has this fear for my child. It doesn't align with what I believe, pretty much. You know, she was just like, yeah, I just need somebody else. It can't be you. And so once I found out what her fear was, I kind of stood there And I was trying, and at first I started doing like my things with my hands and different stuff like that. And she was like, see, I need to learn that. That's what I need to know, but not from you, not from you. And you just stay there. And so I stood there, and it reminded me of a moment when I had received my name, my spiritual name, at a ceremony. And I remember being in a place where after I had received my name, I wasn't able, at some point in time during that ceremony, I was no longer able to sit down anymore. I had to stand, and where I stood, I remember hearing very clearly I needed to stay right there at that exact spot. And so I couldn't go and sit down or go over here. It was meant for my energy to be at that spot at that moment in time. So it reminded me of that. So I stood there, and then I heard, put your hand on the floor. So I bent down and I put my hand on the floor, and I pictured energy being released from my hand and to go through and spread out through the floor, throughout the store, even to where she was. And so after that, I got up, and actually before that happened, I started to get muscle spasms. My back started to lock up, my entire back, where I really couldn't move. And I was just like, okay. And so, like, if you're going through this, and y'all know if you're going through something like this, the first thing you think about is like, oh my gosh, this lady is right. Oh my gosh, like now I'm being attacked. That's the first thing that people would think. And so it started to creep in my mind just a little bit, like, okay, what is this? And I was like, nah, this isn't that. And so, because I was like, I've had this muscle spasm before this moment. You know what I mean? I had it when I was in the car earlier that day or the day before. So I was just like, okay. So I released that from my mind. This isn't from this situation. This is just something that is happening at this moment, but it's here to teach me something. So I understood that. After I put my hand on the floor, I got up, and then I went to go sit down in like this seating area. It's still in the store. So I sat there and I started to meditate. I closed my eyes and I just listened, and I just started to meditate. And then I started to go through my mind and listen to my higher self and connect with my energy and different stuff like that and everything. And so at that point in time, I started to go over the things she was saying. And I was just like, yeah, I don't resonate with that. That's not what I believe. And so I'm not going to allow, I'm not going to give into someone else's reality of things. And I'm not going to be fearful, because I know what fear does. Fear allows little tiny seeds to grow, and then you in trouble, because then you've given power over to something in someone else's reality. Now, mind you, I didn't run. I didn't go to the back and say, oh, okay, well, let me stay away from her. And that, no, because that would have been giving in to her reality, and it wasn't my own. So I sat there and I said, the highest vibration is love. That is one of the highest vibrations. So I started to sit there and meditate, and I started picturing this energy of this love energy of pink and green. I just started picturing it coming from my heart chakra and extending out throughout the store. And then next thing you know, a lot of customers start coming into the store, and I just laughed, because the first thing I thought was, oh yeah, my spirit tribe, they sending in people to, to help me. They're sending in, I'm really funny like that, So I started thinking about that. And so after that, I started sending out that energy of love, and I said, okay, started figuring out, what am I gonna do now? Okay, so I just observed her, and she started like saying different things, and I know there was someone there that was ringing her and giving her like someone's number to contact. And then I heard them say, like, I know a demonologist that you can talk to as well. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need them. And when she said that, it just did something to me energetically, like, you know, it just did something. And so I stood up and I went back to the spot where I was standing before. And I ended up seeing someone I knew, and they came, you know, to me and gave me a hug and different stuff like that. And then they went back, you know, to get in line to get their things rung up. And I stood there, and the lady was checking out. And she was like, she said something to me, and I said, well, I would have loved to hear more of what this is about, you know, because there were pieces missing, and I couldn't understand why she was feeling like, you know, there were entities following her. And then also, I forgot to mention that she did tell me that they were there in the store. And I asked her how many were there, and she said there were 4, that they were men, and there were 4, and that they preyed on women, and she didn't feel like my baby would be protected. So at this point, I was like, I would have loved to hear more of you know, about this. And I'm thinking like, man, if she just gives me 30 minutes to talk to her, you know what I mean, and just to get this, you know, all figured out, you know, I could really help her. And so she was just like, no, I'm not telling you anything. I'm not saying anything to you. And different stuff. And I was just like, okay. So I just smiled, you know, I said, okay. Trying to like protect me, or she's trying to do some words she said. And I can't really remember exactly what she said, because at this moment I felt like my higher self just like really took over, because I didn't really remember the last thing she said. And all of a sudden I just started to like rise up and was just telling her, you know, like, my baby is protected. I am protected. You know what I mean? Like, and I just started telling her, like, I am protected. My baby is protected. There is no demon, no entity, no spirit, no anything that has greater power over me than I do of myself. No one else has more authority than I do over my energy. I don't care if they're in hell, heaven, or around there. Nobody has control over me. I am protected, and da-da-da-da-da. You know, so I was just, I mean, I don't even remember some of the things that I was saying. It's just like this energy just, you know, my energy really just took over. And I was just like, you can get all of these physical things. So she was in there getting a whole basket full of like sage and this and this and this. I was like, you can get all of these physical things, but they will not matter unless your intention is in it, unless your belief is in it. Without everything, you have to know that you have the power over everything. It is not the sage that brings you the protection. It's your intention behind using the sage that brings you your protection. It is not that, like, you know, I just started like, I mean, like I said, I don't even remember everything I was saying. But I just know that I was just like, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. And I was like, I don't care if there's 4 here, 12 here, or if there's 20. They don't have any power or any authority over me, and I am protected, and my child is protected. I don't care how many they are. No one has a greater power than me. And then she said, and then at first she was just like in awe, you know what I'm saying? And because at first, like in between that time of me talking, she was just like, she's like, well, when you're, you know, your baby, such and such and such. And I was like, I am protected. There's no one that has greater power over me. I am my greatest power. And I don't know what else I said. And then after I was done, and she just kind of stared at me like, you know, then she was just like, she blew me a kiss. And I said, and then she just left. Like, I didn't even see her leave. I saw the back of her, and like, that was it. Like, it was just an awe-dropping experience. And then the person that was ringing her was like, I believe it was that person. I was just like, oh my gosh, do you feel that? And the person that I knew that was still standing there, because she was waiting to get run, she was just like, you know, this is all I know her as. I know her, you know, previously, like she's talking about me. She's like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm standing with her because this is all I know her as. So I'm not shocked by anything that she said or anything that she did because this is who I know her as. And when she said that, it went to my soul, y'all, because, you know, I don't have this particular person that I know from a class that I was in. And I didn't talk to them that much. I didn't have many interactions with them, but every time I saw them, I just felt like, you know, their spirit was really nice. And, you know, just, you know how you feel that way about certain people. So every time you see them, you just always give them a hug. You don't have to have long conversations with them. You don't have to be all up in their face all the time or be calling each other on the phone. I didn't have any of that with her, but it was more of a soul connection. So when she said that, I felt it in my soul, like her soul recognized my soul. And she knew me, not of my physical part in this lifetime, not just that, but she really knew me. She knew my soul. And that, it even gives me chills right now, you guys. It even gives me chills because that's what she was talking about. And I just felt it. And then, you know, she left and I started talking to the person, another person that was in the store that was ringing. And at that time, let me tell you, remember I told you guys how the whole store was starting to fill up at a certain time. Well, when that incident happened, everyone was gone, but that lady, me, the person ringing her, and the person that I knew. So it was already destined and designed for it to happen that way because I could not have imagined or pictured that interaction happening with a room full of people. That experience, it left me feeling so empowered, so free, so motivated, because the days prior to that, like I said, with everything that I had been going through for the past few months, a few days prior to that, I was questioning myself about who I was. I knew who I was, but I was questioning because all of these things were happening. I began to question different things about myself. And I was just like, you know what? Like, maybe this is just, something's not clicking, something's not working, something's not aligning and adding up here. So maybe I should just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just take a break from spirituality. Or maybe I should just, well, and when I mean take a break, I don't mean like, I've seen videos where people are like, I'm not spiritual anymore because they've gone through all these things. No, not like that. In a way of kind of just like, you know, maybe I need to just be focused on me and not listen to so many readings and this and that, because all those things can get in your head when you're watching people that saying abundance is here, this is here, this is here, and then you're going through like one of the worst financial situations in your life, you know, and different stuff, and you having to, you know, mentally, you know, just continue to climb this ladder, and you feel like every time you climb a couple steps, you get knocked right back down. And every time you see the light and you see hope, then it comes right back down. And so I have been challenged in many different areas over the past few months. And so at this particular time, I think I just said it was like a day or two before, a few days before this happened, I just was like, I surrender. I just surrender. I surrender to the idea of thinking that things are supposed to be this certain way. I surrender to the idea that, you know, like I'm supposed to have this by this certain time, and everything is just supposed to just start working, and I deserve this, so why am I not getting it right now? And you know what I mean? I've given so much to people, so why am I not receiving what it is that I had to release all of that. And I was just like, I just surrender. I don't have nothing left. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm letting it go. So I was just like, you know, I just surrender. I surrender, you know. And I just remember that night just crying so much. And I can do a separate video about everything that took place at that time that led to that. I don't want to go like really into it. But yeah, you guys, so just when you feel like you want to give up, and I have a song about this. Oh my God. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Spirit. I have a song that's like, just when you feel like you want to give up, love finds its way letting you know it's here to stay. And that love is you. And it's all around you. That love is the love of the universe. It's the love of God. It's the love of Source. It's the love of your spirit tribe. It's the love of the things that you desire. It's that love that's around you all the time that we don't really see or acknowledge because of our situations that are happening physically. And just know that you are loved and that you are protected, and stand in your power and trust. So I want to leave you with a few things that I've learned, and I want to leave you with a few things to do when you're faced with other people's demons, or you feel like they're your own, or somebody else's reality that they're trying to have you be a part of that doesn't resonate with you at all. Okay? These are some things that I want to leave you with. The first thing I want to say is to stand your ground. That's what I had to do. I had to stand my ground. I was not going to run. I was not going to flee. I was not going to allow that situation to take over me or to take over my mind, because I know that my mind is one of the strongest things. Stand your ground, okay? Release the fear. Only thing that fear does, it can either work for you or against you. And if you're allowing fear to work against you, then that means you've given into the fear and that you're allowing the fear to grow. You're being the creator of that as well. Okay, so releasing the fear, all right? Another thing you want to do is to bring your vibration to one of love. I sat there in a calm state. I meditated. I went within myself. I didn't go call somebody and say, hey, what should I do? I didn't go back there and talk to nobody and say, all right, listen, I didn't get on YouTube and try to find a video. No, I went within. I went to myself. I went to my higher self. I went to my spirit tribe. I allowed that energy for me to listen to it and for me to know exactly what I needed to do. All right, so bring your attention to a vibration, one of love. Why? Because love is one of the highest vibrations. So if fear is low, you want to bring your vibration high, okay? You want to bring it higher than that, all right? So that you can be able to fight that low vibration, all right? Or even just transform that low vibration to high vibration like that, okay? And then another thing I want to say is trust yourself. Okay, so the fourth thing I want to say is to trust in yourself. If you don't trust yourself, how are you going to trust in the messages that you're receiving from yourself? So it's like, trust yourself. Okay, because guess what? I always tell my clients this: when you have nothing, when you don't have anything physical, when you don't have anyone to call, when you don't have access to just a message just like that, like, you know, maybe you don't know how to do tarot cards to receive a message from spirit. Maybe you can't access a YouTube video or the internet starts acting, you know, wanky at a certain period of time. When you have nothing else, you have yourself. And you have your higher self, and you have your angels and your guides. Your whole spirit tribe is there. You have protectors that are assigned to protect you. But if you don't believe it, how can it exist in your mind? Right? So align with the existence that already is. Okay? And then I want to say to believe. You have to believe in yourself. You got to trust yourself, and then you got to believe it. You got to believe and know what you stand for, who you are. Okay? What your reality is. Because if I was to give into her reality, you guys, when I started getting those muscle spasms, I would have been thinking that that was the 4 entities that she was saying was there that harm women. And I would have been like, woo, oh my goodness. And I forgot to tell you guys that as I was sitting down, the muscle spasm came back. When she left, I went to go wash my hands and cleanse myself of any of the energy that was low vibration that didn't match my energy. And then I started feeling that, and I started feeling it in my back again, and I put my hand on my back and I said, peace. I hadn't had a muscle spasm since that moment for the rest of that day. Okay? So believe. And then listen to your inner self. Sometimes you got to get in the quiet place for a minute and just take a couple minutes to just breathe and just listen and not just react and not just respond. There are many things that she said to me that I wanted to just say, well, da 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 da, because of all the knowledge and different things that I've received over a period of time and from my experiences and from my connection to source, my higher self. But I couldn't give all that to her. I listened to myself, and I knew that one, I needed to be still. I needed to stand my ground, and I needed to get to a place where I could breathe and listen and go within to hear what the next step was. Because this was something that I felt like she wasn't a coincidence. She didn't just happen to come into this place the day that I worked, and she reached out to me weeks ago. This was no coincidence. I knew that she was there for me to give her something, for me to plant a seed. Just don't believe more in that person than you do your own self. All right. So I want to leave you with that, and just know who you are, know your help, act on it. All right. It doesn't matter what situation it is. This is something that works all the time. And I believe at this moment in time that it works for every situation. Okay. And if that changes at a different point in time, and I have more knowledge, you know what I'm saying, at a different time, then it will change at that time. But right now, at this time, I just know that it works. I know it works. I know it. So thank you so much for watching this video. And I don't know how long it's going to be, but thank you. If you watched it all the way to the end, then give me a thumbs up in the comments below so that I know. And if you guys are interested in any other videos from me about what I've been going through over the past few months, or even have any questions for me that you would like for me to answer in the video, let me know down below, you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful, amazing rest of your day. Remember, you are amazing, you are wonderful, and you were created to be a light and to share your experiences. So never be afraid to share your experiences with other people. All right? You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember, you are magic. So today, be magical. Bye.